Wait.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to the J Lounge. Of course, you guys know I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson, here to bring you guys another wonderful episode of the J Lounge. Of course, you guys know the J Lounge is a celebrity-based podcast show where we talk with actors, directors, singers, you name it. They all come down here and they all have a great time. As per normal, I am super excited to be introducing my next guest for today. They are a comedian and actor. They have been an opener for Theo Vaughn, Craig Robinson, and Jamie Kennedy, as well as a performer on The Dave Chappelle Show. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Jeremy Scippio. Hi, Jeremy.
Hey, how's it going,
It's
Simone?
going great. It's going great. How's it going with you?
It's going good. I was just got back to LA from New York and the weather was starting to get cold, so that was a good time to leave. And it's bright and sunny out here, so I appreciate I'm glad to be back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm a little jealous that you're in there because it's a little bit cold over here in Washington. We're like at 24 degrees right now, so a
Oh
little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's like it's always like kind of a slight cloudiness up there.
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, yes. It's crazy. But I am glad to have you on the DJ Lounge show, and I'm going to go ahead and fire the first question at you. What began your passion for comedy?
I mean, just shoot, watching programming I had no business watching when I was young. I was watching Def
Yep.
Comedy Jam and
Yep.
Comic View and
Yep.
Saturday Night Live, Mad TV, Living Color, that type of stuff
Oh
like
my
that.
goodness.
Yeah, but I didn't realize, and this is why you really should be careful with your children are watching. I didn't realize the influence it was having on me. I
Mhm.
was watching it as a spectator. I had no necessarily intentions of doing stand up at the time,
Mhm.
but I was obsessed with it. So, I just say I'll say around 8 years old, that's when I finally was like, yo, I kind of want to do that. And, by the time I was like 13, I was like, I determined that when I was an adult, I was going to do stand up. So,
Yeah, yeah, I get you. I get you. I was actually the same thing watching, Comic View, all of that, Mad TV, super young. And you're right, I did not know the influence, it has. So people do need to, be careful what your kids watch because, yeah, it definitely has an influence. So I am
yeah.
with you on
Yeah,
that one.
I
Mhm.
thought I was going to school imitating Martin like directly. Like I was if he said it, I said it. If he did it, I was doing it on, at school. I was obsessed.
Yeah, how could you not be? It's Martin. But yeah, no, I get you. I get you. When you're at school, they don't understand. So going on to the next question, Jeremy. I want to know, name three people who influenced your career and why.
Yeah, like, well, first of all, Martin Lawrence, just because when I was young, like he was it was bigger than comedy. You know what I'm saying? I really just liked his
Mm,
personality. I think he embodied the 90s just as a
yep,
black man in general.
yep.
He was just cool. You know what I'm saying? So, I would say that was my first person I imitated. I would say as a stand-up though, it wasn't when I became a stand-up, I would say I was more influenced by Chris Rock.
Ooh,
Um, yeah, because he just had like strong political takes and
yep.
even his relationship material. And just his career path, like how he exploded with stand-up. Most
Hmm.
stand-up comics, they would actually most famous ones that we admire, they would blow up from like, TV or movies, and then you realize they do stand-up. With Chris Rock, it was like his stand-up was so prominent and his like film work or whatever was like secondary. So, I would say that's kind of where what I admire most about him. It just like, yeah, his opinion was like law. Like when I would say now we have more nuance, but at the time it was just like, yeah, if Chris Rock said it, it was right. So I'll say he was influenced. And then George Carlin. Um,
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, I would say I still don't find too many comedians that are like George Carlin, just the way he would break down any concept. Um, I mean, even though it could be interpreted as like an angry old man like thing,
Right.
but like he would just break down. I remember I was watching during COVID, uh, he had this whole stand up. Man, I forgot which special it was from, but it pretty much broke down like it was very prophetic how he broke down how we are how our immune systems and how we're a weak generation, and we're supposed to get germs in order to toughen us up, so when something big comes along, it doesn't wipe us out. And it was like listening to it during like the pandemic was like wow, like he was way ahead of his time, all the time. So I would say like when people compare me to people, I'd be like, even though I appreciate when people go like, oh, Eddie Murphy or
Hmm.
whoever, or Dave Chappelle, I'm like, I really take the compliment when they say George Carlin. I'm like, oh, you see me.
Yeah, yeah. Because I know George Carlin, he's an inspiration for a lot of comedians. Kind of started, that foundation. A lot of comedians definitely mention George Carlin and Chris Rock. Yeah, Chris. I know, he might be controversial for some, but I still appreciate, him being the host of the Oscars and really him highlighting how many black films and black performance was ignored. Uh, he did it directly. He had the stage to do it, and he made sure to highlight it directly. I do appreciate him for his political stance on that. And
Hmm.
I agree with you, Martin Lawrence. He was every inch the '90s representing the '90s. '90s was huge, especially in comedy.
Man, like what
So
he wore, I mean, his
mhm.
haircuts, I mean, it was just like, you know,
Yeah, it was just
it
essentials '90s. I mean, if you know, you know. You just had to be there to see it.
had to be there. And it's
Oh,
funny, it's funny watching him now because, he's kind of like a shell of that guy. It's kind of weird to see, but man, I'll tell you, I just think it was nothing bigger than him and his, the way he was back then. And you can see it in the sketches too, like online, a lot of the skits. Pretty much I feel like the Martin show pretty much had that in it.
yep,
Like it's kind of hard to find an original skit that you see online that the Martin show didn't already kind of do in some way, shape, or form.
exactly. I agree. I
Hmm.
completely agree. So
Hmm.
I love it. Which brings me to my next question, Jeremy. Describe your comedy style, your comedic style.
uh yes. My style. This is actually the hardest question for me. Because it's kind of like like you do you go arrogant or do you go humble?
You go arrogant. Love it.
If you too arrogant, people just be like, "Who the hell you think you're no Eddie Murphy?" And if you're too
Yeah.
humble, they be like, "Pick yourself up, man. You'll be
I
funny
know
one day."
you
Like, huh?
can't win. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But try your best.
But yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm a overthinker. I overanalyze stuff, and that's why I'm really tapped in with George Carlin like more than anybody when it comes to that type of stuff.
Hmm.
But I'll be honest, like there's a parody aspect to it where you have to like let's just say you have to make it funny. Nobody wants to see you like nerd out over one idea or concept.
Hmm.
So I try to like you know jazz it up or whatever. Like just how to make it funny. And then I try to bring a black element to it because I'm I'm really I'm really pro black, but in like in a just in a potential way. Like,
Gotcha.
like I want, black people to live up to their potential and all that stuff, so I kind of have to
Yeah.
sneak it in on, what I'm saying because
Yep.
because just coming from a Def Jam era, you can't be like black people do this and white people do that,
Right. No, I get you. Right. I so get what you
So
mean. Hmm.
so you have to spice it up to where it's like you get people to go you'll describe a situation and you get people to go like, I agree with that. Hey, I feel you. And I'm like, that's how black people feel in America. Okay, next. So
You're right. You just snuck that in. All right.
yeah.
Well, that's how next. Oh, I
And
see what you did there.
yeah, I would say that's like me in a nutshell. And then now, since I recently got married, it's funny because when I first started, it was so hard for me to do relationship material and talk
Mhm.
about sex. It was hard for me. I mean, maybe because I wasn't good at it. I don't know, But now, because I got married recently, I'm like kind of stuck in this relationship material phase. But it's cool because it actually helps me relate to more to just regular people. Like my topics aren't as outlandish as they used to be. I used to like take all these big concepts, but now it just be something as basic as, like washing dishes or something. Like, know, it just be like right
Right.
there. But yeah, I mean that's the best I could do. I don't know as far as
No,
describing my style.
I get you. I get you. I do. You definitely have you like you said, your material where you want to pro-black, you want to see potential in black people, but doing it in I would say a very wise, very clever way. So
Mhm.
I would say a very clever, sharp comedic style. I would say that's
Yeah,
how I would describe it. Because
thank you.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's how exactly how I would describe it. So.
thank you.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Going on to the next question, Jeremy, what's been some of the most challenging moments in your comedy career?
Challenging moments. Let's see. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Challenge challenging moments. I would say sometimes my plate gets kind of too full, you know? So like say maybe when I was younger, like having financial issues and it's like you want to do comedy, but then you need to, you know, get it like a job. Because when I first moved to LA,
Hmm.
I just was like, oh, in my mind, I was like, I'm just going to do comedy because I had a job or, I was working, my first three jobs, I was working at a country club, worked at this, military plant, and, I was also, doing taxes. Then when I moved to LA, I was like, I'm just going to do comedy. I didn't want to do nothing else. And I was just like, in my mind, I was like a kid with a book bag on, just hitting these stages. And that's the fastest way to go broke. So when I would say, I remember I kind of got my car towed, and you have shows. You have shows. You're like, I didn't get to these shows. I need to do this, but just nothing's coming in. Um, yeah, I would say it kind of. Matter of fact, I remember I went to the show, and me and a friend went to the show, and I remember I got there, parked my car. I went into the venue, and for some reason I was like, let me just go check on my car, and it was gone.
No, no,
It was gone.
no.
And
Why?
it's like an LA thing. Like if you get your car towed, like now I could do it with confidence. I'm like, I just throw money at them. Like it's like baller. Like, ah man, that's just that is premium parking in LA. Like, man, I just
That's
come out,
crazy.
my car man, I'll just throw some money at it. I'll get it back. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? But man,
That's
when
great.
back then, that was just like, oh, I
Right.
felt so low.
Oh
But
my goodness.
I went on stage. I went back in, and I don't know. I can't tell you like how I felt per se, but I could tell you like there's stories about me going on that night. And this one dude was like, man, I swear you've been doing comedy for like 35 years, man. You was like a veteran. They was like, yo, that's one of the best sets I've ever seen in life. And you were just pouring your heart out. And yeah, I don't know. I just blanked, but I was just being honest with myself and my feelings and because and like I said, looking back, it wasn't as bad, but at the time, that was like, you have no money coming in,
Hmm.
you like my car was my only like you know form of luxury I had, and I didn't even know how I was doing a set, not realizing if I was going to get paid and if I was going to go home.
Oh my God.
I was
The
like,
stress. I don't know if I would be able to handle that. That's so Oh my God.
yeah,
Oh, my heart
but
wouldn't be able to take that. I have anxiety, so I stress easily. So that's too much for me right there.
it's like
Oh
some
my gosh.
friends, it's some friends I like have still have like one's like he does like news for Yahoo, sports news from Yahoo. He always brings up that moment. he was like, man, that was the greatest stand-up set I ever seen. He's like, he said, it's just so hard to believe you're the same person. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, that
Oh,
was
that's
definitely one of the
awesome.
most challenging moments in my life and career.
Oh my God. That is insane. That is really, that's insane. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Oh, that would give me a stressful heart attack. Oh my Lord.
hmm
Uh
hmm
anyways, going on to the next question. Jeremy, I want to make sure my audience follows you and your work. Where are you on social media?
Uh, at Jeremy Comedy on Instagram is probably where you're gonna get the best updates and interactions or whatever. I'm on my website, which I'm gonna update eventually.
Which I'm
Uh,
gonna update. You
well,
said.
because at the beginning of the year is when I get all my dates. I'm getting my dates right now for the entire year, so then I'll update it and have it to where people can buy tickets ahead of time. But yeah, it's Jeremy Scippio Scippio, and then also just Google me. YouTube. Just make sure you spell my name right. That's pretty much it. I got two comedy albums, another one on the way. Yeah, I'm just working on stuff.
All right. Of course, I highly encourage my audience. Make sure you follow Jeremy Scipio on all social media and website, which, as you heard from himself, he's gonna update. Hasn't done it yet, but he's gonna update.
I mean,
So
within a week or two. So,
within a week
about
or
time
two,
the time
we
you
got
hear this, it should be updated.
we got confirmation. All right. Well, make sure you follow them and support him, and yeah, make sure you check out his stuff. Going on
Mhm.
to the next question. What future projects are you currently involved with that you can give a dish about to the J Lounge audience?
I mean, probably my comedy special. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like even saying that is like almost cliche right now, but nah, man, mine's is the one. You know what I'm saying? Like mine's I was with Russell Peters, this comedian Russell Peters, if you know him, a couple nights ago. And he's actually one of the first comedians to take me on the road. He grabbed me. He was a little lit. He grabbed me around the shoulders. And he's like, Scipio, Scipio. He goes, yeah, it's an election year. And I'm like, oh God. But reason why he's like mocking me is because during election years, early on, I was considered a political comedian. I wasn't trying to be, but I always kind of realized that's when I glow. So it's like you take the material or where your life is from the last couple of years and you kind of describe. I think during that time period, people are like looking for outside information. They're kind of looking for a hero or something to latch on to. So, and you look at how Cat Williams like made such
Mm-hmm.
a big splash, you
Yep.
know. I mean, come on. So I feel like I kind of have that same ability. So I think my comedy special would be like the thing. I really do be like it's gonna be the one. You
Ooh.
know. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know.
I'm just saying. Not that I'm trying to
I'm just
brag or
saying.
anything.
It's
I'm just,
it's
keeping it real.
it's really not that part isn't hard for me. Just put it like that. Um
Love it.
it's but other than that, yeah, I had a film come out
Ooh.
in November called Night of the Hunted, which I was starring in. I was the second lead or whatever. And it did pretty good. I was featured in New York Times. So yeah, I would like to follow it up with a couple of other projects. Hopefully, I know you said stuff you can't talk about, but we'll see. I don't want to mess up any promotional efforts,
I get you.
but just keep
No, I
following me.
get you. I get you. Of course,
Mhm.
once you get more information, definitely keep us here at the J Lounge posted. We'll definitely want to hear more about it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. But all that
hmm
sounds solid. All that sounds solid and really exciting. All
hmm
right, go moving on to the next question here. What goals do you hope to achieve in your career that you haven't yet?
Um, you know, um, though I get a lot of love, there's certain things like of course Netflix special, just because Netflix and then Just for Laughs, which is a comedy festival in held in Montreal, Canada. These things are kind of like the Super Bowl of our field,
Hmm.
you know. I mean, it doesn't have to mean anything, it's really not indicative of your success, but it's just kind of like certain certain lines that comedians cross to kind of like say, "Here I am." You know,
Right, of
um,
course.
yeah, though I've been doing comedy for a while, I haven't done them yet, so I would like to do those things this year. And it's actually not far from me because I kind of know the people, and the people have an eye on me, so it's not that big of a deal. But definitely, those are like things I would like to check off. Um, yeah, and since Jonathan Majors is in trouble, I feel like being like the new,
Ah,
the
did you
new
have
the
to slip that in like
I mean, look, man, there's only they only accept this one at a time, you know what I'm saying? So I think I could be the next, you know what I mean?
Jonathan
I,
Majors trouble?
I can't I can't wait to start talking different, talking with my British accent and dressing weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I could be that new it guy. You know what I'm
That was
saying?
too smooth. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Since
Too soon.
Jonathan
What?
Majors is in
Man, look.
trouble.
And and my wife black, so I'm not gonna get in trouble. You know what I mean? So
That was that was really good. Since Jonathan Majors is in trouble, if anyone needs a new replacement for things, I'm
I'm just
available.
saying, he was the it guy. He had like 20 movies lined up. 20. That spot is open now. That spot is open. That's all I'm saying. Is either gonna be damn some Idris or me. That's it. So
And he's already in everything. So
right. So as soon as he has that unfortunate car accident,
ah,
it'll be like
unfortunate car accident, if
it'll
you
be
want to
like,
call
Jim.
it that.
Yeah,
Are we
sure. I mean,
calling
I'm
it
just I'm
that?
just predicting. I don't know.
Ah.
I'm just
Oh,
saying
that was a
Creed
good one. I'm
Creed
sorry, that was a good one. Uh,
Creed 4, here I come. That's all I'm saying.
Creep for well, you better start, hitting the gym, get 30, 40 pounds of pure muscle in, man. You saw how
Yeah,
big Jonathan Major was in that movie, so you better
he
start pumping the
he
iron.
sure he sure was. And I've already started eating chicken, rice, working out, and doing steroids so I can be.
Wait a minute. What? Those shouldn't be in
Don't
there.
don't you like how I'd be like, wait, how'd you gain 300 pounds in pure muscle in 2 months? And they'd be like, yo, I'll just be eating chicken and rice and drinking water. Like, shut up.
It's like, tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Right.
Oh,
And then it'd
that
be like before they went from playing Nelson Mandela to playing like
ah,
Mike Tyson. It'd be like, how did you
right. I mean, come on now. Let's be realistic, you guys.
you
Oh my goodness, that was hilarious.
yeah, but yeah,
Uh,
that's the one. I think I got it.
oh my goodness, that is hilarious.
hmm
Uh, going on to the last three questions that we got for you, Jeremy. Going on to the
hmm
next one. What's been some of the most rewarding moments in your comedy career?
Rewarding moments. Um, I guess when I headlined Caroline's, in New York. Caroline's it's no longer here, but it was one of the places that there's like certain. I'm like a product of the Comedy Store. I've always been like a Comedy Store comic. But in New York City, like Caroline's and the Comedy Cellar were like the two main places. And Caroline's was like a place that when I first was getting on YouTube, I would see comics that I liked perform there. Like I remember when Kevin Hart was blowing up and I seen him do his
Mhm.
set there, and the background was so unique. So when I start going to New York, and a lot of these places are hard to get into.
Mhm.
They're like gridlock. Like I promise, if you go up to the door and be like, "Hey, how can a comedian get up here?" They'll say like, "Oh, you can't," and it just shut the door in your face. So
You can't. So thanks for asking. You
I'm
can't. Oh.
I'm not kidding. So it's like really like that. So I would say I headline Caroline's, and I have been performing there for years. Like I've opened for Dion Cole there, Jay Farrell, say Al Magical. Let me see. I had opened for a lot of big comics there. but I had yet to headline myself. And yeah, in 2019, I was able to headline there. And I say the reason why is an achievement for me, not just because of, the prestige of the place itself. I had it was weird, comics from all over the country, or just people in general, like different parts of my life all kind of came there. Like it was weird. Like I have friends that I went to high school with there, um, people from Chicago, um, people from because I'm from Cincinnati originally, so it was just,
Oh,
people
okay.
from, yeah, people from LA was there. And even like I had gotten really in there with like the BET staff. So there
Oh,
was like a
wow.
whole, like, yeah, like people from BET, like, it was just an interesting thing, like to have the audience full of people that support you. Like it wasn't just that it was a nice crowd. It was like these are my people. And yeah, even like the picture, I had brought everybody, well, most of the people from the front, because it was like a 200, I think it's 250, 270, something like that. But I brought like probably like 50 to 75 people on stage with me at the end, and we took a picture and stuff. So yeah, I would say
Excellent.
that. And then also the film I was just in, because it was during the strike. And well, first of all, I didn't know the film was going to be such a big deal. um and I wasn't even sure we were allowed to promote it properly. But when we went to the screening, and I found out how entertaining the film was, and then they brought us on stage. I didn't think they were going to do that. They brought us on stage for like a panel. And that's when they were like, I knew that I was going to replace Jonathan Majors one day. So yeah, that was what I I kind of don't appreciate your laugh at that point. I think that was
You were determined to take over Jonathan Major's place, aren't you?
well, not his place. He was just renting it. Just the
He was just
the
renting it. Oh, okay.
the,
Just keeping it,
the
nice and warm for you. The seat nice and warm for you. Now that it's vacant,
yeah. I'm just saying the it
time for the rightful
black
owner to take
guy.
its place.
Right. Exactly. That's all. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no,
Like
I
I'll do
see
a
your vision. I see your
I'll
vision.
do a
I get
film
it.
with him. I'll do a film with him. Once this gets old, I'll be like, hey man, you could be a butler or something. You could be
Ah, you know, that should keep you out of trouble for a while.
exactly. He just got to do a PSA on why you should avoid dating white women and public. That's
I don't know if that will go out
it.
well. I think
Right now,
I
it would
don't
be
think he'll go over so
him
well.
and Johnny, him and Johnny Depp. They would, man, look, it would be like they'd be like, hey, white women are out of style, man. Like it happens, it
Oh,
changes. Just like light
oh,
skinned dudes was in style for a minute, and then Morris Chestnut happened, and then it's just times change. It's cool, man.
it's cool. It's totally
Ty-
cool. It's
Tyler
kosher.
Perry's hiring. He'll
Tyler
book.
Perry's hiring. Yeah.
He'll book him.
Oh, that's priceless. But I see your vision, though. I see your vision.
Thank you.
Ah, all right. Going on to the next question. What are some
Mhm.
of your passions outside of comedy?
Um. So, I have been a actual visual artist my entire life, as far as I can
Oh,
remember. As my mother would say, that's your real talent. Um, so I used to draw, paint, sculpt. I mean, I still do, just not as intensely. I mean, I guess it started with I used to draw Ninja Turtles in my mother's Bible, and that evolved into me. I said I was in sixth grade. I was the kid. I think a lot of people have the story where, you do your schoolwork and then you would draw. And I used to get in trouble for drawing. Then my sixth grade teacher was like, man, he should go to school for this. So I ended up going to a performing arts school, and you have to test to get in. So I passed that test, and I was like I was a visual artist from seventh grade all the way to, graduation. Like even my diploma, it has visual artist in the title, whatever.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's probably my main thing, or was my main thing. And then also I was also was a jazz pianist. I studied jazz, and I even briefly I went to college for like a semester, two like a semester and a half. I didn't finish, but I went to I was there for uh I pretty much went there for art and jazz or whatever. So I just started picking back up jazz piano. That's like I try to incorporate it into my comedy. But yeah, there's this thing like I put it like this. My dad is really focused on my music career. And my mother should be focused on my art career. So I think it's like different aspects of them and what I do. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
my two. Those actually all my three passions. Like, I would say art technically first, just because it comes so naturally to me. Like I don't have to work on being an artist, but I do have to work on being a pianist though. I have to work hard on that.
Wow. That's amazing though. That's
Mhm.
amazing to have a lot of, passion for, visual arts and things like that. So that's incredible. That doesn't
Yeah,
come easily to everybody.
and also if anybody wants to check it out, at Jeremy Artist on Instagram, that's like my artist page where you can check out some of my art and stuff I've taken, even like some photography stuff too is on there. So, yep.
I love that. I love that. That's amazing.
Hmm.
That's all right. Well, we're almost out of time here, but I do appreciate Jeremy you coming on here and giving my audience, showing my audience who you are, especially as a comedian. I am rooting for your success. I cannot wait to see more what you do, and
Hmm.
yeah, I cannot wait for the moment that you take over from Jonathan Majors. It's it's gonna
It's
be a moment. And I'm gonna tell
it's
people
coming.
like this is the podcast that he said he was going to replace Jonathan Majors. I have proof. I have definitive proof. And
Oh man, I just
I
know.
haven't laughed this much in the interview in quite some time, so I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. I just know I gotta get bigger than him because I know he gonna be on my ass if he hear this interview.
Like I heard what you said.
I'm like, before you kick my ass, can you just tell me where you get your steroids from so it'll be a fair fight? That's all I want. Just tell me your supplier. That's it.
Because I'm trying to train for Creed 4. They're still looking for somebody now.
I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness, I've not laughed as hard at any of you in so long. So I appreciate you for that.
No problem.
You definitely need a bigger stage. That's all I can say. But I do, of course, want to encourage my audience one more time. Make sure you follow Jeremy Scipio on all social media platforms, including his website,
Yes.
which again, he said he will update sometime this
Yes.
week. So
Yes.
make sure you guys
Yes.
take a look out for that. Continue to support him. And yeah, we definitely want to see more of Jeremy, especially in 2024. So make sure
Thank you.
guys follow, support, give a shout out, do what you guys do. But of
Thanks.
course, you guys know I have been your hostess with the most, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson, bringing you guys another wonderful episode of the J Lounge. Want to thank my amazing guest, Jeremy Scipio, one more time. Want to thank everyone for listening in. Until then, I will be back. You guys have a great day.
Thank,
Bye.
thank you, Simone.